Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching or listening to us from today, the 15th of January 2025. You're welcome to Stockertim, the investors channel. Today, we will be looking at the market. Everything came back riding very, very high into the sky. The market seems to be back to green. We are going to look at why is the market coming back to green today. I'm sure you already heard one or two information about what's going on, but I'm going to break it down. I'm also going to be doing something a bit different today. Instead of having slides, I'll be doing live demos. So going forward, we'll be having a more interactive live demo for us to actually talk about some specific things that you need to know about some of the stocks that we have picked, some of the stocks that we recommend. Before I start on that note, please, every information and information that we share on this channel is for information and education purpose only. So please consult your financial advisor or do your due diligence before making any decision. Please also support us by subscribing to this channel. Put on your notification bell so that you don't miss any updates that we are going to be sharing from time to time. So let's jump right in. Just to give you a quick update before we go into what we are going to be discussing today. The market came back real hard today. The Nasdaq, which is the index or the stock market where the top tech companies are listed, is doing almost about 2% as at the time of this broadcast, because the core inflation number that we're waiting for December came in less as expected, and the market really took off. There was a lot of fears. I did that edition that I'm going to drop in this video description, where I actually talked about the fact that when the market is actually selling off, that's the best time to be an investor. The second update, Palantir has a new deal with Boundless Discovery, which is an analysis as a service company. They analyze complex issues in the news, in finance, in business, in technology for big organizations who actually subscribe to this analysis. So this company will be using Palantir's AIP software on a multi-year deal kind of a plan. So big one for Palantir. The financial terms of the deal was not announced, but it's a positive one for Palantir because the stock has really gotten a beating. But last year the stock did well over 400%. In the last 4 years, the stock has done 600%. It's number one on the Magnificent Seven for Stockertim. Truist actually upgraded one of our Magnificent Seven stock, Walmart. They upgraded it and they reiterated it as buy. We actually believe Walmart is going to be the first grocery company to hit 1 trillion market cap, and that's why it's part of our Magnificent Seven. Goldman Sachs also stopped estimate. The stock is actually doing almost about 9%, as at the time of this broadcast. So the bank actually came up with one of the best results so far. Goldman Sachs is one of the top mega stocks to actually buy that we picked on this channel. Barclays is actually boosting target price for Tesla. Tesla is not necessarily a buy for us. It's not a sell for us. It's a hold because of so many reasons that we've discussed in previous edition. Google actually rolled out a new browser. Google is trying to actually evade the sell-off or the splittering of his business into different parts because of what the U.S. Department of Justice is actually doing. JP Morgan Chase also came up with record profit, just like all the other banks that are releasing their results for today. Citigroup did very well, especially they are actually announcing about 20 billion buyback. Last year Citigroup was actually down, but the stock has actually come back very hard. So the banks actually did all their results. The major banks did all their results. In the next couple of days, Bank of America and a few other global banks will be releasing their results. I will be bringing you that update. Now, coming to the topic of today, why is the market coming back hard? Why is everything going up all of a sudden again? Because we've said it, the market actually moves in cycles. There will be times when there's a lot of negative information, negative headlines, microeconomic data that is making investors to weigh their portfolio, reduce their exposure to certain sectors like maybe technology where the valuation seems to be higher, maybe some sectors where some of these companies that have really done very well in the last 6 months or 1 year down the line. So investors generally, when there is a bit of uncertainty as to, is inflation going to go back up, is the Federal Reserve going to increase rates or cut rates, or they are not going to cut or lesser cut this year, what happens is that the market definitely always sell off and reduce some weight. And you see a lot of companies, a lot of stocks that have done very well. They've ran, some of them have done 300, 400% like Palantir did last year. They lost some value. But now that there's a bit more certainty coming into the market, like today, even the ceasefire in between Hamas and Israel. So a whole lot of positive news today, and you can see that the market just basically flipping over, and it's as if there was no negative sentiment and there was a sell-off. Yes, year to date, from January 1st to today, the market is still down by maybe about 1% or a bit less in terms of the S&P 500, but we seem to have actually recovered at least almost about half, especially for Magnificent 7 and also for our own portfolio. So today, what I'm trying to say is, whenever there is a selling momentum in the market, that is actually the time to do your research and look at some of the most undervalued stocks, or stocks that they were actually just being sold off, reactionary new jack reaction by investors or shareholders who are not just necessarily doing anything permanent. They will oftentimes roll back into these stocks, and that's why the market seems to be moving over again, and you see a whole lot of buying opportunities, buying activity, millions and billions of shares exchanging hands. A whole lot of cash is coming back into the market. You see the treasury yield, which is like the interest rate paid on the US bonds, is actually coming down. The 10-year, the 2-year, the 30-year, everything seems to be on a downward trend, and that's a very positive thing for technology stocks or stocks that are way valued. Now, to the demo that we're going to be doing today, is something very different that we'll be doing today. We want to actually look at the Magnificent 7 in our portfolio in the top picks. So the Magnificent 7 for Stockertim is the top, basically not the Magnificent 7 stocks that you are used to. Just about 1 and 2 of those stocks are actually on the Stockertim Magnificent 7. So the Stockertim Magnificent 7 consists of Amazon, Apple, Palantir Technologies, Robinhood, Huber Technologies, Vanguard S&P Index Fund, and Walmart. That's basically the Magnificent 7 stocks for Stockertim, for our channel. It is also, by way of explanation, the top 7 stocks on our portfolio, and we actually want to show you how these stocks have been performing since the beginning of this year, since January, and what we actually think. Today alone, the best performer in this Magnificent 7 for Stockertim has been Robinhood Technologies, Robinhood Markets. Robinhood Markets is actually having a lot of tailwind because this company lost a lot of value when it listed some few years ago. There was the GameStop saga, a whole lot of sell-off when the company took some action against some particular people in the market, and especially the younger generation. So there was a lot of sell-off in the stock of this company, but this company has actually moved past that PR problem. They've actually ramped up the number of customers they've onboarded. They have much more product that they offer, from the day-to-day buying and selling of shares to buying crypto products, from Bitcoin to Ethereum to all of the cryptos that you can think of. They also have the prediction market, they have the options, they have the short selling, they have a whole lot of product. They have the credit card business that they are also running. So Robinhood has actually added a lot of value to to the company. If you look at the last 1 year, you can see over 316% in the last 1 year. This year alone is the best performer in the Stockertim Magnificent 7, 22% just between the beginning of January till today. Nothing has beaten this on the Magnificent 7 for Stockertim, and that's why. What do I feel about Robinhood markets? I actually believe this company will go back to its all-time high this year. Yes, the valuation might be a bit rich, but if you look at the way this company has been growing, going back to about $50.63 per share, is not out of the way. And between now and towards the third quarter of this year, this company is actually going to benefit from the tailwind of more trading activities on the platform, crypto going to perhaps about 150,000, especially Bitcoin, 150,000 per Bitcoin, and a whole lot of more customers that this company continues to onboard. The UK operation started last year. This company is actually going to perhaps do more acquisition, enter more markets, and that's why it's going to perhaps be the top performer on the Stockertim Magnificent 7. Number 2 performer for today on the Magnificent 7 is Uber Technologies. Uber is the brand that you're used to. You've taken rides, Uber rides anywhere in most countries, in most advanced economies, even the emerging markets, a whole lot of less developed markets. Uber has actually more or less expanded everywhere. Uber is doing some acquisition. Uber is also going into some core products that is more or less taking food out of the mouth of the legacy companies that they are competing with. And on that note, we believe Uber is going to be the number 2 performer on the Stockertim Magnificent 7, because if you look at what that company has done in the last 1 year, the company didn't really do well, but a whole lot of execution that this company is doing, and the fact that the robo-taxi revolution has never started is just child's play. As a matter of fact, Uber has the opportunity to actually be the network that is going to actually make robo-taxi to be widely accepted, widely expanding in major markets. And if you see what Uber is doing in train booking, flight booking, Uber is also trying to acquire one of the most respected flight booking companies website in the world, but that deal hasn't pulled through, and we believe this company has the opportunity to execute, and a 50% year-to-date performance is what we expect. Before we close on this note, because we always want to do this demo bit by bit, so that the video doesn't get too long. If you have watched this far, please subscribe to our channel, put on your notification bell so that you don't miss any update. I want to actually hear from you. We want to hear from you. Is there any of this part of the Magnificent 7, any of the picks on this Magnificent 7 stocks that you actually own? Why? And are you buying more? When do you hope to buy more? We don't necessarily add arbitrarily to these stocks. We add when there's an opportunity to add. And on that note, I'm going to be talking about which of them am I going to be buying more in the nearest days to come. And it is Apple, AAPL, the undisputed largest company by market cap in the world. Apple has now garnered a lot of negative news in the last 4-5 days, in the last 2 weeks at the beginning of this year. And that's because in the last 4 years, at the beginning of every year, there's a lot of negative news that surrounds Apple. Oh, their market share is reducing, their sales in China and all that. And if you've been following this company in the last 3 to 4 years, you could actually see that every year, Apple starts the year on a very slow note, But along the line, Apple tends to actually outperform towards the middle and the last quarter of the year. And that's why we believe that Apple is number 3 to perform on the Magnificent Seven for Stockertim. We will be adding more positions, and this is actually a company that is likely to do minimum 30 to about 40% this year. It did about 30% this year because it wasn't able to execute on some of its plans, especially the Apple Intelligence. And we will be announcing when we buy more and how we are buying, and at what price as well. So on that note, thank you so much for joining. This is going to be often and often. We might actually be doing more demos. Please subscribe to our channel, put on your notification bell so that you don't miss any updates we'll be doing tomorrow. The market opens tomorrow. So on that note, please continue to invest, keep investing, keep growing. We actually cherish every of your support. So please, let's hear from you. Share your comment in the comment section below. Thank you. Till tomorrow. Bye.